So today we are going to learn something new about some new topics. Till now, how much we have learned? We have learned about the motions, and the law behind the motion. While digging into the laws behind the motion, we have seen some terminology called force. Now, this force, we have seen that this is nothing but the transfer rate of momentum. Okay, so this is something which is needed to change the state of any object. Also, we have seen that F is nothing but your mass into acceleration. Okay, so now today what we are going to see is basically some terminology about work and energy. So we know that to do something, everybody exert some kind of energy. Without having some amount of energy, working is not possible. And in whole universe, the whole physics is nothing but the study of the interaction between energy and force. And mass plays a vital role into that. So we will today concentrate on the topic which is nothing but energy. So one thing is there that is called the conservation of energy. Conservation of energy states that the total energy of a system, is always conserved. So what does it mean? It means that whatever is the energy before some procedure, and if you measure the same amount of energy after the procedure, the total energy of the whole system will be always constant. So energy can neither be created or be destroyed. So that means only one thing is possible in energy, and that is the conversion of energy. So conversion of energy is only possible way through which any physical incident or occurrence can happen. So how energy convert into another energy? So there are so many types of energy. So kind of you can say that we have mechanical energy, we have electromagnetic energy, we have nuclear energy, we have energy associated with radiation, we have our thermal energy. Okay, so such kind of lots of energies are there. Now the question is that in this chapter particularly what we are going to study mostly. So as this chapter is deeply associated with the laws of motion, so generally we will be studying the mechanical energy. So if we talk about the mechanical energies, then there are specially two types of energy we are going to deal about. So here we can do two classification. One is our potential energy. I will be describing this term, potential energy, and another one is called kinetic energy. Now, what is potential energy and what is kinetic energy? So coming to the first one, that is my potential energy. So potential energy is nothing but the energy that a system possesses due to its configuration. So energy possessed by any or the energy gained by any, it's better to say gained so that you can understand nicely, gained by any object or system due to its configuration. Now what is configuration? Configuration means the state of that system. Like if you have a spring and if you just compress the spring, so this compression is a kind of configuration. If you have a stone and if you lift the stone here at a height of h, so the configuration of the stone is this, that it is at h height from the ground. So these things are called the configuration. So potential energy appears whenever there is a, like whenever means all the time, because of the the configuration of that system or object. Now regarding potential energy and so let us go to the second term, that is our kinetic energy. So potential energy we have done. Now talking about kinetic energy. So kinetic energy is what? So kinetic, this word means, kinetics means the motion, it is linked with the motion. So kinetic energy is the energy gained by any object due to its motion. Okay, so kinetic energy is essentially nothing but the energy associated with its motion. So if something is moving, then there is kinetic energy. If something is not moving, then there is no kinetic energy. Simple. Now we will more dig into the terms like potential energy and kinetic energy, and how they, how the motion, in the motion we see the conversion of this potential to kinetic and kinetic to potential. So this thing is going on all the time whenever we describe the mechanics of any kind of system, dynamic system. That means the system where the change is happening, like particles are moving or something is happening, okay, configuration is changing. So in those cases we will see there is a continuous change in potential to kinetic and kinetic to potential energy. Now before we talk about more like a mathematical term, we have to see one more thing. Let's say you have a ground and you have a ball. Now if you lift this ball to a height h, what you will see that if you leave it, the ball will come down again in the ground. So when I am pulling the ball upside at a height h, that means I am doing some kind of work against my gravity, because gravity was pulling this thing downward, right, with some of the gravitational force, that is my mg. So this is not a g multiplied, I'm just talking about gravitational force, so it's subscript. Acha. So I have to give more than this force or similar, this same force, in order to counteract this force and move this object from ground to at a height h. Now if I leave this so that means if I leave it now, it will again come back to the same position, right? So how much work I have given here to lift this thing at a height h, when I am leaving, this is again giving back that work. Now how this is happening and what is the conversion here? So see, the ball was at this point at the ground. So when I have to move it upward, that means I have to give some force and I have to do some work. Now I am doing some work. That means I am giving some energy or transferring some amount of energy to the ball, so that the ball can go against the gravity and it can reach this height h. So that means I am increasing the energy of this ball somehow. So when I'm transferring the energy, the ball is gaining some energy. And which is that energy? That energy is called potential energy. So when I am transferring the energy, the ball is gaining potential energy. So how to write? So the ball is gaining potential energy. So I'm writing here only that this is the potential energy the ball is gaining. Now when I am leaving the ball is again coming back. So when the ball is coming back, now I already told you that energy is conserved, so energy cannot be destroyed, right? So whatever potential energy the ball has gained, it has to either convert into another energy, or it has to give back that energy. So that means it is somehow giving back the energy. So you know that when I am moving the ball with my hand, okay, so it is storing potential energy, but when I am leaving it, the ball is coming with certain velocity. So now the ball is in some motion because of this gravitational pull, and no other forces are there to restrict the ball to fall down. So the energy which the ball is giving back is nothing but your kinetic energy, because this potential energy ball has stored, and now it is utilizing that energy to increase its velocity. And when the ball will touch the ground, you will say, sir, then the ball will be stopped here in the ground. Yes, when the ball is touching the ground, you will clearly hear some of the sound, so that will be automatically convert into sound energy. And some of the energy, so after this, when the ball is in motion, then it is kinetic energy. But when the ball is touching the ground and the collision is happening, this kinetic energy is becoming sound energy plus some heat energy. Now this heat is very negligible, and we cannot understand what is happening there. So this is how energy conservation happens. And this kind of force field where energy is conserved, so you can see this gravitational force field is a force field where energy is conserved. So basically if the table was not there, so this sound and heat energy would not be there. So that means the potential energy would be totally converted into kinetic energy only. Okay, so in that case you can say that this kind of force field, there is no dissipation of energy. So dissipation means when the energy is converted into heat energy, because once the energy is converted into heat energy, we cannot restore it again. Say once you rub your hand together, so you are doing your mechanical work, so your muscles are working, and because of this your mechanical work is being created into your heat energy. But can you use that heat energy to gain the same work back to you? No, you cannot, because heat energy always lost away generally when we say it's a dissipation. So dissipation terms means it's goes away. Acha. So this kind of force field where the energy is converted and there is no dissipation, then these are called conservative field. So these are called conservative field, where energy is converted but there is no dissipation. So there is no dissipation. That means the loss of energy. There is no loss of energy. So whatever energy it is converting into, you can reuse that energy. Okay, like let us give you one example. Let's say you have a bowl like this and you have a ball like this. So if you can see that in this bowl the ball is at some height h. So that means when it is at height h, there is no one to stop it from going down. So obviously because of gravity this ball will roll up to this place, right? Now once the ball, so when the ball was at a height h, it was having completely potential energy. But because of the gravity, this potential energy is now converted into kinetic energy when the ball is rolling. So when the ball will be here and nobody is there to stop the ball will have some maximum velocity. And that is why the ball will have only kinetic energy. Because now the height is not there. Now the ball, because no one is there to stop the ball, so ball will go up till again height h, and again it will gain the potential energy. So kinetic energy now again will convert into potential energy. So we are considering no friction here, because if we consider friction, we know that friction means heat dissipation, but no friction means no heat dissipation. So the total energy is conserved. So you can see here that there are two conversions. So first potential to kinetic, then kinetic to again potential. So that means the kinetic energy after converting from potential energy is again giving back the energy to potential energy. So that means this field is conserving the energy, and this is called conservative field. Now field means it's kind of force. Okay, so conservative field. Now so gravity is a conservative field where the energy is not dissipated, or the energy is not energy cannot be get lost. Acha. Now what is work done? Now work done is nothing but your energy, because see, when you want to change the state of something, that means you are transferring your energy to someone so that it can change that object's dynamics. So whatever work done you are doing, that is nothing but the energy that you are transferring. So work done is similar as your energy transferred. So as these two things are similar, so that means if you find out work done, you will easily find out how much energy is being transferred. Now what is work done? So basically when we will be talking about work done, so let me give you that definition. That is, work done is defined as force, which is a vector quantity, dot the displacement, which is again the vector quantity. So if we remove dot, so it will be f r, only the value, mod value cos theta. So if you have an object here, if you are moving the object in r direction and the force is acting in f force is acting with an angle theta, then the work done will be this. So the object is coming from A point to B point. In that case the work done will be this much. But why this is happening? So for that we will discuss this thing in our next class, but for now you just remember up to this much, that work done is nothing but force into displacement, but this is a dot product, so F and R cos theta. So work done is always F R cos theta. So if your theta is say 0 degree, or that means the F and R is working in the same direction, so in that case it will be only F into R, or Fx you can say, if x is the displacement. One more thing we have seen here, that if this is the scenario, then let us talk about potential energy. So what will be the formula for potential energy? So potential energy means energy for configuration. So it has different formulas, but if you talk about gravitational potential energy, so we can see that, let us talk about, so potential energy can be different for various, so I'm writing this, the different for various situations. Acha. So one of this situation is gravitational potential energy. So gravitational PE, that means potential energy. So we know that gravitational potential energy happens when some object is moved to a height. So if this is my table, so if I move this object up to a height h, that means my displacement is h. Now to move this object at a height h, I must have to work against the force mg which was working downward. So I must give the same amount of force, or just a slight little bit of that, in order to move the object in upside. So if I talk about the work done in this case, which is nothing but your potential energy that will be stored in the object, will be force into displacement, in easy word. So displacement is h. Now the force value must be same as mg, because that is a minimum threshold that I must give, so that I can move it against gravity. So you can find that this is nothing but your mgh. So that means gravitational potential energy is nothing but your mgh. You can say like this. So generally we can say that this is the gravitational potential energy, but we will see that this gravitational potential energy is actually relative. You must keep some reference. So let's say I'm giving one example. Let's say you have a table right here. This is your ground and the ball is there. So the ball is already was having, so this was actually ground, this is the table surface, and now you are moving the ball at a height h. So one thing you can notice easily, that the ball was having a potential energy from before only, because it is already at a height big h, which is nothing but the height of my table with ground, from ground, with respect to the ground. So at a position, let's say this is a and this is b position. So at a position, so gravitational potential energy was, so GPEA at how much it was? It was m, if m is that thing, so mgh. Already it was having this, and now at GPEB it will be having, when it is at point B, it will be having mg and h plus h. So what is the difference of potential energy between point A and B? So PE AB, that means the difference, how much I have given, that means how much work I have given. So that is, so see, if this is PEB and if this is PEA, so I must say that this W and PEA, which was from before only, W plus PBA, just a minute, should be same as PEB. So that means my W is nothing but final potential energy minus initial potential energy. That means how much work I have done. So that only if I find out, I will see that if I subtract from this to this, so if I subtract from this amount, I will get again mgh. So basically you can see here that the gravitational potential energy is different for different aspect. If you talk about this table, then I have to tell the gravitational potential energy of the ball at B height, at the point B will be mg this h only. But if I tell the same thing, that gravitational potential energy of the object B with respect to the ground, then I have to say the gravitational potential energy will be mgh plus big H. Okay, that means this total length I have to take into account if I take the reference of the ground. But I have to tell only mgh, the small length, that means this height, if I talk about the reference of the table. So all the time, whenever you are defining gravitational potential energy, you must tell the reference. That means the gravitational potential energy with respect to ground, or with respect to sea level, or with respect to any table, or with respect to any rooftop. So you have to tell. Okay. And one more thing, now talking about the kinetic energy, we will be talking about kinetic energy now, and then we'll come back to our gravitational normal mechanical potential energy as well. So today let us talk about only potential energy. It will be better, I think. So if we talk about potential energy only, so this was gravitational potential energy. So let us talk about mechanical potential energy right now. I'm writing PE as a short form. So mechanical potential energy happens when we deform any object. Like let's say we are talking about the spring itself. So if we have a spring and we have an object like there, and if I compress the spring with some displacement x, if I compress the spring, what will happen? The spring will change its configuration. So as a result, because whenever I am compressing a spring, I will feel some hindrance because the spring doesn't want to compress. So that means I have to transfer some of my energy so that it can be compressed, and that energy will be stored as the mechanical potential energy in the spring itself. So that much of energy we are going to calculate. Now we have seen one thing during our experiments in the lab, that the more you want to compress the spring, the more you need the force. So if you want to compress it like say 5 centimeter, whatever force you will need, if you want to compress it for 10 centimeter, you need more force. So the force is always proportional to my displacement. And not only that, you have seen here that this one, that is your this force is always directed towards this way, because the displacement is happening in this way, in order to compress the, like I have to give the displacement in left side in order to compress the spring, but the spring is increasing its force, or the hindrance force you can say. With that force it wants to restrict you, that don't compress me. So that force it is giving in opposite direction. So you can see the direction of force and displacement is different in this case. In our normal cases, if we want to move any object, we have seen that the force and displacement works in the same direction. Like if you push something in the right side, it will go in right side only. But in this case, the force exerted by the spring to stop you is in the opposite direction of the displacement of the spring which is happening. So obviously there is a minus sign here. So there is a minus sign here. So if we remove the proportionality, we will see there is a constant, that is a proportionality constant, and this constant for spring is called spring constant. Spring constant. Now the spring constant is very important for our study, but we will talk about it later on also. So the force which is acting by the spring to stop you is minus kx. So k is different for different springs. It depends on the material of the springs and the configuration of the spring. Okay, so we have seen this is the force. So to overcome this force or to compress the spring, I have to give same amount of force or more than that, right? So if we want to calculate how much potential energy we can store by compressing a spring, so we know that work done is force into displacement if it is happening in the same direction. Now it is happening in the different, so this is minus because the force exerted by the spring is in the different direction, right? Acha. But whatever force now I am giving here is opposite to that. The spring is giving me minus kx amount of force, so I have to give kx amount of force in the opposite direction. So applied force that is given by me should be in the opposite direction, because if I apply the force in this direction only, then only the compression will happen, right? So that means that will be kx. So I can say that instead of f I can write here. So one thing you see here, so to now differentiation will come little bit. If I want to change a small amount of force here, so that means if dw amount of work I have done, so dw represents a small work done, and I am able to move only dx. So this is an infinitesimal displacement, and this is that infinitesimal work done. So to do infinitesimal displacement means to compress it with very little dx amount, I need to transfer energy, or the work done I have to do is dw. So if I write like this, then in the next line I can write that this force which I require to give here is definitely my kx amount of force. Why? Because why not minus kx? Because minus kx is spring is given to me, but I have to give that opposite direction in order to compress. So my force will be kx. So if it is that, then the total, so I have to do integration to find the total work done, how much I have done. So that will be, so at first there was no displacement, so I want to displace it to extent of x. So now integration dx kx dx. So if you learn this integration, you will see that it will come half kx square or kx square by 2. So that will be my total work done, or total potential energy you can also say. That is kx square, half kx square. So this formula is important for you. This derivation you will understand automatically when you will learn integration. This is very straightforward. Main thing which is needed for you right now is half kx square. So just like this, where in gravitational potential energy we have seen the potential energy is given by mg height into h. H is nothing but the change in height. So in this case, for the spring, the potential energy stored is nothing but half kx square. Okay, so this much is important for today. So today's class will be this much, and in our next class what we will be studying, we will be finding out the expression for kinetic energy. So we will be finding out the expression for kinetic energy in our further class. So bye for today and see you in my next class.